We have a job to do to educate people about what's going on in our own country, and it's getting worse by the hour here. I mean, seriously, when you look at the level of cutbacks, when you go stand on a platform in New York City, and there's nobody at the station, and this crime is going up, and people are worried, will they get home safely? Okay? We have to somehow resonate with the pain that's out there in an empathetic way, so that people see us as people who are speaking for them and working with them. Then this meeting will be so packed nobody will be able to get into it, because they'll feel like here are people who are on our side, who want to help us, who want to work with us. And that's what I think we can build now. We're in an opportunity. I've never seen it before like this, when people are just like ridiculing the Goldman Sachses of the world, where people are dismayed when the polls say 82% of the people want to crack down on Wall Street. 82%. You can't get 82% approval for air conditioning on a hot day. Okay? But they understand this. They see what's happening. They want to do something about it, and we have to give them the tools, the information, some guidance, some leadership, some energy, so that they will get involved in all of this. That's why what John is doing matters so deeply. He knows this stuff cold. He can talk about it in a way that people can relate to and understand. He went to school, by the way, at Harvard with Barack Obama. So, we're talking about something that matters. President Roosevelt met with the civil rights leaders of his day, the labor leaders of his day, and they went to him and they say, listen, we really need to do this, and we need to do that, and we've got to get these guys, and we've got to indict these bad guys. And FDR looked at them, and he said, I agree with everything you say. Now, make me do it. Right. Pressure me. Push me. Move on me. Okay? Get me to do it, because I will do it. If my people, the people who support me, are out there urging me to do it. And that's what we have to, we can't just take an attitude of deference to people in office. We have to take an attitude of accountability, responsibility. We want you to work with us, and we want you to work for us. And what can we do to help? And how can we set up forums? And how can we educate people? So that's all I've come here to say. I am a recovering addict. I was addicted to a democracy. I want it back. So people, thank you very much. I have a couple of films and books here. If anybody's interested, I'd love to do a screening in Jersey City with you. And I just think we have a moment now, an opportunity now, because things are falling apart so rapidly, to stand up with people who need our help and need it now. Thank you.
Have versus corporate political action meetings. Now we're going to see that multiplied exponentially, right? Because corporations, of course, can now go to their general treasury fund. They don't have to raise these funds via individual executives anymore. They can just go right to their general treasury fund. And as we know, unions are not set up to build general treasury funds. They're set up to protect and advocate for working people. Now, to be clear, I think we need to go back to the basic principle of the First Amendment, which is it's to protect people, not corporations, not unions, not even nonprofit organizations. It's to protect people. And if we return to that principle, which has been there for 2 centuries, then I think we've advanced, the goals of working people and many others. But it is true, that there are some within the labor community who think, well, I'll play this game now. We'll just spend our money, in this way. And I think they're going to find they're going to be even more outspent than they had been prior to this going.
Look at membership in unions. It's down to like 12 million members from 18 million members. They've lost, a lot of economic power. You had almost 15,000 people marching on Wall Street. They got on page B8 of the New York Times in the bottom of the paper. with almost no attention whatsoever. You know, the president of the AFL-CIO went on with Keith Olbermann, and Keith Olbermann says to him, you know, nicely, gee, Mr. Trump, it's so nice to meet you. I've always wanted to meet you. Which says to me how infrequently labor people are even part of the debate or part of the discussion. They don't even know who they are. They have no relationship with them. They're never really consulted. So, you know, the unions are struggling to stay in place, and they're losing in state after state with all kinds of right-to-work laws. And they've been unsuccessful in getting legislation to protect the right to organize in the country. They're also bureaucratic. They're also, with a lot of people who are trying to, stay where they are rather than move forward. Is there corruption? Yes, there's corruption. But when you line it up against the Bernie Madoff, $65 billion, it's chump change. You know, it's staggeringly, it's not even in the same league, you know. And so the right wing has a strategy. Delegitimize government, period. Government can do no good. We don't need government to help people. We want a free, quote, market. We don't want any regulations and rules and all of that. Tell that to the fishermen now in the Gulf of Mexico who are losing their industry, okay? So that's their strategy. So everything it was this community, when black people were in neighborhoods and nobody would lend to them at all. It was a red line around their neighborhoods. And, it didn't matter if you were a millionaire living within the community, you wouldn't get any loans because they were red lines. So they passed anti-discriminatory legislation to try to stop that practice. That led to the subprime lending, which was seen as a reform at the time. Help people get access to capital who are good people but are being redlined out in a discriminatory manner. And then the scammers saw that and started to concentrate and focus on that. And they were very good at it. They were marketers. They were planned. They were in league. We have what we call in America the FIRE economy. Have you heard this phrase? Finance, insurance, real estate. Those are the pillars of our economy. And these three industries worked together, okay, to provide loans that the FBI said is an epidemic of mortgage fraud, to create securities, so these firms, with the help of rating agencies, could sell this junk around the world, valuing it, a AAA value when it was worthless, it had no assets behind it, and then insure it with AIG and then bet against it. This is a classic scam, okay?
Scambolic.
It is a scambolic situation, new word. So